Hello everybody and welcome back to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you so much as always for joining me. So we have a fun video in store for today and it's going to revolve around the C8 Corvette. I've made a bunch of these videos lately because again, if you're new to the channel, the C8 Corvette is a very pivotal point of this channel. We are hoping to purchase one, or I should say I am hoping to purchase one and share it with you. But today's video, I wanted to talk about something. Now, the Corvette, we have tons and tons of questions that we don't have answered. The biggest question was, is it really going to be mid-engine? And it really certainly looks like that from seeing some of the new spy shots, which look incredible. And I want to make a video coming up talking about the different, breakdowns of the new spy shots, but I haven't gotten around to it. I thought today's video would be great though. I thought you guys would really enjoy it. So again, the mid-engine Corvette, that was one of the biggest questions. Now we have tons of questions on, when exactly is it going to come out? When's it going to debut? What, are all the specs? What are going to be what's going to be the horsepower, the torque? What engine is going to be used? Is it going to be all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive? We have a whole host of questions. But the most asked, I think, and most relevant question that anybody has that has not been answered and really will not be able to be answered till it debuts is, what is it going to cost? If we truly are going to have a C8 Corvette that is mid-engine, that is changing the whole platform line, is it going to be out of the realm of affordability for most people? The Corvette is known for being able to be attainable for your average person, for the most part. I shouldn't say average, but I should say if you work really hard, and I guess even the average person can afford one, but you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to afford the Corvette. And along with what comes with that Corvette is power. And ever since the C7 came out, isn't just power, it's interior comfort, creature comforts that were never seen before. The Corvettes have improved immensely over time, and the value you get per dollar spent is crazy compared to where you see the performance of other cars stack up. So the Corvette lineup is very, very intriguing for, I would say, more people on this planet than just about anybody. So this is where price comes directly into view. So I had previously thought that the Corvette lineup would host the C8 Corvette and alongside with it the C7. The C7 has been very, very popular, and I thought they would run both production models together, and that was always my comments when people would ask. I'd say, I really think they're going to. I think going straight to the mid-engine is too much of a jump. A lot of people do not like the mid-engine look. Now, I think they will eventually come around to it, but there are some die-hard purists that it needs to say front engine rear-wheel drive. But we now know for the most part that that is probably not going to be the case. But as I said, I thought they would run together. Now, there is a gentleman named Rick Conti. He actually goes by Rick Corvette Conti, and that's because he is one of the largest sellers of Corvettes in the US. And I've been following his channel for a while, and if you have not had a chance to check him out, I will put a link in the description below for you guys. You should really check him out. He has a lot of great information, and he has just about as much insider information as anybody's going to get. So I'm always checking with what he comes out with on his YouTube channel. I actually would hopefully love to buy a car from him, a C8 mid-engine Corvette, because as I said, that is what I eventually want to purchase. And if everything works out, I may end up keeping the Audi R8. I don't want to get off too much topic, and maybe daily drive in the new C8 Corvette. If that ends up working out, I need to replace my everyday driver. And if it can hold out, maybe it might be that I actually get to keep both of them. That would be incredible. We'll see, but that's a whole nother video down the road. But back to Rick Conti. He has all this information, and he made a comment in a video the other day talking about the production runs. And he said when he heard about the C7 back in probably 2012, 2013, before it actually debuted or before the production actually started, he heard that it was going to be a 5-year production. Well, 2014 when it came out, 2019, we're there. And that's how long his production run was supposed to be, 5 years. Well, if that's correct, and the C8 is coming out now, that means they will not coincide with each other. That means the C7 will go away, and the C8 will take its place, just as every Corvette has done before. I honestly did not think they were going to go that way. I still am questionable whether that's the right choice, but that changes a very pivotal aspect of the Corvette C8, and that is pricing. Because if they ran the C7 and the C8 together, you would be able to have a higher price C8. Now, I don't want a higher price C8 unless it comes with incredible specs. I think it already will, but I also know that if they were to run together, they wouldn't price everybody out for a Corvette. If they run only the C8 Corvette, they cannot price a huge vast majority of their buyers out of the market. They just can't do it. GM will not do it. They are a publicly traded company. They require sales. They can't make that big of a transition because, especially with the popularity of the C7 and the amount of money they've made, that is very important. So that really only reconfirms if that is the case. If they only have the C8 Corvette mid-engine running as their only production Corvette, they cannot price it 100, 150,000. They will not do that. Now, there may be higher variations. I mean, you have ZR1 that is 150 grand already. They might have a $200,000 Corvette in the near future, but their base has to reflect something that everybody can purchase. So hence my video. Now, I've put a ton of time researching this topic, and at the end of the day, nobody has the answers. I don't have the answers, but I'm going to make a very educated guess with you guys. And I'm curious what you guys think. And I'm in finance, so I did a ton of numbers, I did a ton of Excel sheets, and I broke it down to a list of factors that I took, and then I actually put that in Excel, and I'm going to throw that up on the screen here in a second. But what I did is I essentially looked at what wage growth has been, what the per capita income rate has been for the US, and that is going all the way back to the C1. You'll see that again here on your screen. And again, I think you guys are going to be able to use this as a reasonable guess. I think we're making obviously an educated guess. With anything not having the complete answer, you have to just make an educated guess. So I've tried to add the most variables that I can come up with and then make a educated guess from that. So let's go ahead and check out that Excel spreadsheet right now. All right, so as you will see, I actually went all the way back to the C1 base Corvette. I was just gonna do the last few, like the C7, the C6, and the C5. However, I decided to just go ahead and go all the way back. So what you're looking at is the first model year a car came out, each base going all the way again back to the C1 in 1953. The next line over is actually the MSRP. That is what the base MSRP was for. Nothing, no additions, no options. That's just the very stripper base of what that cost that year. Then if we go one more over, we're looking at the average income per capita. Now, I used some very good resource information. The St. Louis Federal Reserve, they put out the income per capita every year. So you can check my sources, that's what I used. So I went ahead and every year that a new Corvette came out, I listed what the average income. Then to give us a relative idea of what that all means together, I gave us a percentage. That percentage is showing what a car, the Corvette, the MSRP cost over the average income per capita of a US citizen that year. So if you look, the first year, the C1, it was almost 200% the average income per capita. And it started to slowly decrease. By the C3, you can see that we were all the way down to 128%. Then the C4, we tricked up quite a bit. Then we started a downward trend all the way to the C7 base Corvette. 110%. That's what the average per capita income, 110% of that income was the base MSRP in 2014. It based at $51,995, and obviously you can see there the average income was $47,003. Again, I got all of these resources online through the Federal Reserve information. Now, where did we go from there? So since 2014, we've gone a few years, and then we actually have to forecast several more years. So what I did is I took the next couple of years from that same US Fed sheet, and I put it all the way to 2017. That's the last year we have to the end of 2017 for average income per capita. And that came out to $51,631 per US citizen. That's again just that's a complete average of the US income per person. It just gives us a decent viewpoint to make everything come together. So then we have 2018, 2019, and even 2020 that we have to actually assess for. Now, wage growth has actually slowed in the last couple of years. It may start ramping up as we're getting interest rates higher. There's a whole host, I'm not going to make a whole economic speech on what all of this means, but wage growth has actually been slower. We've usually seen 4, maybe even 5% wage growth a year. The last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years has actually been closer to 2 to 2.5%. It has slowed down. But taking that into effect, I've ramped it up just a little bit, and we are making an educated guess that in 2020, when the C8 Corvette comes out, we have an average income of $54,800. I've actually seen some other forecasts, and they generally give this as a rough estimate. Again, this is an estimate. We don't have what the income per capita. We could have a major, economic collapse, and this could change. Wage growth could go negative. We have no idea, but this is just a fair estimation based on wage growth percentage. So that gives us 2 question marks, as you can see there. What is the percentage that we're going to choose, which will ultimately lead to our MSRP? We're going to work backwards, just like algebra. We're going to work backwards. What do we think our percentage is going to be? And this is very, very important. Whatever we choose, that percentage is going to output what the MSRP is going to be for the new C8 Mid Engine Corvette. Now, how do we derive the percentage we get off to that right side? Now, looking at 110%, it's definitely come down from the first C1 base. I mean, from 193% all the way down to 110%. That's a major change in average income over the MSRP base price. So we have to take into effect several things, and that is the mid-engine Corvette is going to cost more to build. Okay, so that number is already going to go up. They also had a huge plant renovation. They spent like almost $300 million to revamp the Bowling Green, Kentucky plant where the Corvette is obviously built. They are going to have to recoup those costs. They're going to build that into the new Corvette. If they're using that innovation, that technology, they are going to add that to each Corvette. You almost are going to be assessed in their minds a little bit of an additional cost. So all in all, I ran a bunch of different numbers. I went over a whole different host of things. And honestly, at the end of the day, I went all over the place and came to one percentage that to me made the most sense. What is the cost per that average income per capita? It all came down to it made the most sense for me. And I'm not going to go into detail because, it would take me forever to explain everything, and it does get a little more complex. My prediction is 140%. That is what I believe the cost is going to be per average income per capita. So we can now work backwards, and what that gives us is the guess, my total educated guess on what the base price is going to be for the new Corvette. It may be higher. I think it's actually going to be lower than a lot of people were guessing. A lot of people think it's going to be very, very high. But remember, I took a whole host of variables here. And at 140% with an average income of $54,800, that gives us a 2020 C8 mid-engine Corvette base price of $76,720. Now, my original guess had been actually closer to the 70, and that could be the case. It could be closer to the 70,000. But with the increase in cost, with the cost already spent by GM, and a whole other host of factors that I came up with, I think it's going to go from 110% increased percentage to 140%. And that again gives us that $76,720. Guys, what do you think? This is where I'm going to leave it to you guys. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about how I got here, please leave them in the comments. I'm not perfect. I could be leaving variables out. There are a whole host of variables that I haven't explained how I got this, and I probably have left out. This is the most simplified, yet I think decent, educational guess you can make towards what the new pricing would be. There's factors I'm not aware of that could completely skew this number, but to me, this is a decent guess. This is a decent guess, and I think at $76,000, it's a little bit higher than a lot of people are probably hoping that really want to see it at a great starting price. But that's not bad. If this Corvette is as good as everybody thinks it could possibly be, including myself, I will pay that. If it is $76,000, I will pay that for a mid-engine Corvette that is going to have new technology and is only going to better itself over the previous generation of the C7, which already was incredible. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy with that number. But again, let me know what you guys think. If you guys found this helpful, enjoyable, please hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you have not already. We are doing tons of videos. I have so much to share with you guys. I got some new R8 videos coming out. I love sharing this with you guys. I love conversing with you. And let's get us to 1,000. I'm so excited. I can't believe how much growth we've seen. So very excited. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. As always, you all take care and we'll see you next video.